man, I've been thinking about completely getting rid of website development as a service for my business. And the reason I say this is because I have been doing website development for many years, even since I was in college. I've been doing website development. So it's been over 7 or 8 years that I've been learning how to develop websites, doing it professionally, and then doing it for my own business. But since I started doing it for my own business, I'm gonna tell you some of the things that I've gone through that makes me want to completely get rid of that service. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is William, and I am the owner of Before the Billions, this YouTube channel where I give people genuine advice about the tech industry and how to get a job in tech. I went through 6 months of being laid off, and I was prosperous and overcame that endeavor or that challenge, and I was able to get a new job that was better than my previous one in data engineering. So I've been a data engineer for 6 years, and I have been doing website development for a very long time. But I will tell you guys is I have started to gain clients, and as I gained clients, I noticed that a lot of them just don't want to pay for services rendered. And I'm sure that goes with any service-based business is hey, you have to kind of like make sure that you get paid beforehand in some way, and or you have to make sure that you have the get I can't really find the exact word for it. It's more so like you have the ability to be able to collect your money if it ever comes to a point where somebody does not want to pay you. So that's what I'm more so getting towards, right? Like you're able to collect your money in some way, shape, or form, right? So a lot of people tell me, "Oh, I'm too nice in order to for me to get my money back," or like I'll do a service for somebody. And I remember I tell this quick story. I was building one of like a client's website. Well, I wasn't building a website. I was fixing a problem with their already built website, and they wanted me to come on and help them to develop more features for their website and more to make it more streamlined and go through the business structure and all kinds of different things that they wanted me to do. Improve the SEO, every single thing imaginable for the website that you can do outside of actually building the framework of it, they wanted me to do for their website. So we meet up, and we meet up at a Starbucks. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, we're meeting up. We're talking about like their problem, and they say, well, hey, look, I have this issue right now. I need to get it fixed right at this moment. How can I get this done? I said, okay, cool. Well, let me go ahead and check into it, right? Let me look at what the actual issue is, and then I spent 2 hours working on this, like troubleshooting the issue and the error, while they're essentially screaming and yelling at me in the Starbucks about how slow I was going and how I didn't know what I was doing and everything else. The problem was solved, right? I fixed their issue, and it was like dealing with like a WordPress website. So I was able to solve the issue in addition to making some improvements to the website and also consulting them on things that they can do to better improve their website. So, but they were literally like, I felt like they were about to swing on me how aggressive they were in this public setting in this Starbucks, right? Telling me how frustrated they were and how mad and upset they were. And I'm like, I didn't mess up their website or anything. It was just, it was already messed up. They didn't know what happened. They came to me to help solve it. I'm looking through trying to figure out what's wrong. I find out the issue and then solve it for them, fix it for them for both the staging and the main website. And I'm gonna tell you guys, right? They did all that screaming and yelling about something that was so necessary that they needed to get done right that moment, and it got solved. Let me ask you guys: do you believe that I got paid for doing that? The answer is that yes, I got paid, but not the full amount of what I asked them for. So I had charged them. I told them, I was like, hey, look, I gave them an invoice and everything of everything that I did with a detailed notes. I charged them $100 for consulting, $300 for like solving the issue, and then also making the improvements to their website, so that way they could go off and get funding for their business. So that was the whole goal. They was like, hey, I'm about to get funding. I need this problem solved. I solve it for them. Then they don't pay me for it. They don't pay me the full amount, right? And I'm sitting here thinking like, man, they did all that screaming and yelling, did all that walking around, pacing back and forth, all that, and it was embarrassing. And I was like, oh my god, like this is just so odd. People just told me I should have just walked out, right? Or just let them alone. Like, okay, you guys solve that problem your own self, which is pretty true. I probably should have just went ahead and walked off, because I think that would have been a better. That would have been better than actually solving the issue for them. So I say all this to say is that that's just one experience with a client, but that may not happen to you. It's just why I think that I'm kind of good on website development. That's just one instance of somebody like doing the most and then not paying me, and then or not paying me the full amount. And then I also had a few other clients who just simply just did not want to pay. I had been working on the website. It had been like several months, like 2 or 3 months. Right, they had paid me one time, and then after like, hey, I've been working on your website for the past week or two, or whatever it is. Like I made some improvements, and then I sent them an invoice saying, hey, these are all the changes that have been made. You can pay this to these accounts and stuff like that. And it's not that they had never paid me before, but they ended up just deciding to block me and never spoke to me again after sending that invoice. And I'm sitting here like, man, website development is really difficult to be able to get paid despite the amount of hours and training. I'm telling you guys, I have been doing website development since college. I've been doing it for many years. I've taken courses on it, like classes in university for website development. I've taken courses for website development. I've attended boot camps for website development. So I've done it for a long time. So I have experience with it. I actually was hired on for my information security advisory when I was an intern to build out their website. My first job as a data engineer was to provide support to a website. So I'm building up all these websites and stuff. And also, I have late night working sessions on my YouTube channel where I teach people how to build websites. I also teach kids how to build websites as well. So I have a lot of experience in this particular niche of technology, and I find it to be really fun. But the thing that is taking away the fun for me is that I have people who do not want to pay me for. I have people who do not want to pay me for the amount of work that I do. So I think right now it may just be best to avoid doing that as a service, and more so strictly just keep it as like a, hey, this is just something that I want to do for fun, or I can teach other people how to do website development. I developed my own website, BeforeTheBillions.com. I've helped people out with website development. So I'm telling you guys all of this to say is that even as somebody who has experience, it is still difficult for you to run a business in website development, right? Because it's not hard to do the actual job task. It's just that business in general can be a different skill set, and it takes a different type of personality than it would be in a corporate environment, or even in of an environment of you just doing projects for yourself. Business can be a little bit more like you have to have all your process together. If you don't have a process or a plan, it's really hard to get paid. It's really hard to get good clients, and especially when you don't have a lot of people speaking to you via word of mouth. So those are some things, or like marketing, right? Like having ads. And also another thing is that I have to compete with Fiverr and Upwork and all these other gig work type of platforms that help the small business owner be able to find website developers for very cheap in other countries. So they don't want to pay people that much, or at least not a lot of small businesses. They don't want to pay them that much to build the website. They can go to somebody on Fiverr or Upwork to get everything started and make sure that the website is working. And then they can make some changes themselves, or they can hire somebody to just make a few adjustments. But that's some of the things I had to take into account when thinking about my business. But to replace website development in my business as a service, I am going to start putting my speaking, like people can hire me as a speaker, so that way, I can go and speak at their events or their conferences. I've been doing it for a little while now, so for a few months. Where I'm actually getting people to reach out to me to speaking. But I've been speaking since my internship, so it's been 7 years, 6 or 7 years. And I've been a part of Toastmasters for a long time. So that's how I got my first experience. But me going off doing professional speaking has not started until, a few months ago. So yeah, guys, I think that instead of doing website development for my business, I'm going to be doing speaking. And those are some of the things I noticed when doing business, but also specifically with website development. Right now, I will tell you is that this is not going to be everybody's issue. Right? You may be a web developer and then you can make really good money. For me, I didn't really charge that much. Right? Like I remember I charged one guy like $400 for fixing up their website, and then they didn't pay. They were like, "Oh no, I'm just not going to." And $400 is really not that much, right? When you're talking about like website development, it can be a lot. It can be very expensive when you really think about it. So, all in all, guys, what do you think in the comments down below? Hopefully, my rationale makes sense. Hopefully, the story made sense and didn't make everybody upset, right? But yeah, this is just something I went through. Wanted to share that with you guys. And with that being said, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified whenever I make new videos on YouTube. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Do not forget to build your billions.